Hey guys, welcome back to Superior Design. I'm Julian, a professional comic artist, and today we're going to be going over some questions while I work on a page for my comic book. Alright, so the first question we have is, what is the best thing about creating a comic book? Me personally, I think the best thing about the process is seeing the final result, whether it's a finished panel or finished page, finished issue, or finished volume. Seeing it all come together is the most satisfying part of the process, as well as being able to tell a visual story. To me, that's the most rewarding thing. And then also, another thing that I really enjoy is seeing the progression of your art skills over the course of your career. For example, my art in the first issue of my comic book I ever worked on is very different than it is currently. And being able to see, even just from panel by panel basis, how much your skills improve from one panel to the next. You're able to watch your entire artistic journey from the beginning to where it's at now, just through a 24-page or several issues. You see it happen in almost real time. You can reflect, you can go back and read an issue and remember exactly where you were at skill-wise and what you're trying to improve on. So just seeing that and seeing it all come together is just very satisfying, for me personally at least. Now, to follow up that question is, what's the worst thing about creating a comic book? I wouldn't say there's necessarily a worst thing. There are, different tasks that I enjoy more than others, such as coloring. That's arguably one of my favorite parts, because that's where you have the most creative freedom to mess around with colors and color symbolism, expressions, and lighting. Where sketching per se can be more challenging because you're trying to convey your inner visual idea of what you want a page to look like. You have to try to convey that on a paper or a screen if you're working digitally. So that, for instance, to me is way more challenging than coloring because it's a lot more mental. There's a lot more thought that has to go into it. But like I said, there's no one thing I hate more than the other. There's no worst thing I feel about creating a comic book, but there are definitely different areas that are more enjoyable than others. Alright, the next question, this is a really good one, and it's, what's a pre-existing character you wish you could write? I've given this a lot of thought over the years, probably too much, but I think over time I've come to realize that I would really enjoy writing. I think Star Wars just has a plethora of characters and different stories you can tell that aren't necessarily stories about good or evil or good guys fighting bad guys. There's a lot more creative room for different storylines, different ideas, different concepts, different philosophies that I feel would be really fun to work with. But to answer the question directly, as far as characters, I would probably choose Darth Vader. Just because he's such a tragic character, there's so much you can explore, even just from Revenge of the Sith to A New Hope, there's so many stories you could tell. And I know there's already comic books about it, but I just feel like out of any character I could write, I would love to write him or any other Star Wars character. Alright, now the next question is, did it take mastering all of the fundamentals before you created your first work? Or was it something you practiced ongoing while also getting better at art in general? Now, this is a very, very insightful question because a lot of beginner comic artists or just artists in general believe that you need to be at a certain level to get started, right? And while that is true to a certain extent, you're never going to be where you want to be, right? You're always going to feel like there's a way you can improve somehow. You're never going to feel ready enough to just get started. So my advice is to always just start, even if you feel it's terrible. Like I said before, I started working on my first comic book when I was 17, and I hadn't fully mastered or really know what all of the fundamentals were, but I knew enough where I could just tell a story. Even though my skills weren't at the time exactly where I wanted them to be, I knew that I had enough of a baseline to just get started. If you look at my art in my very first issue versus the current issue I'm working on, there's a huge art improvement, right? And that improvement wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have started, right? If I would have waited until right now to get started, then that would have been several years where I could have been actively practicing, getting better at my craft. And because of that, I'm constantly learning, right? Then, like I said earlier, you'll be able to go back and you'll be able to see your previous work, your previous pages. You might cringe a bit, but you'll have the satisfaction of knowing that you did it, you started. You didn't wait for the perfect moment, because that's never gonna happen, you know? But the point is, even if the only thing you can draw is stick figures, just start. Do a 2-page comic if you want to, using only stick figures. Because at the end of the day, comic books aren't just about art or art quality. They play a big part, but most pivotal aspect of comic books is being able to tell a clear story. So even if your art skills aren't exactly where you'd like them to be right now, just get started and just focus on improving along the way. Don't wait for the perfect moment, or don't think that you have to be an incredible artist just to get started, because 99% of artists in the industry, they weren't where they are right now. They were by no means perfect, but they got started. So hopefully that answers your question. Alright, the next question is, what is your favorite non-American comic artist? Mobius, hands down. He is one of my favorite comic book artists of all time. His art is so incredible. I really love how he's able to do minimalistic detail, yet tell so much story. Right? There's a lot of thought that goes into it. Even though it looks very simple, it takes an incredible amount of skill and talent to convey enough of a story with just a few lines. And that, on top of his colors, it's incredible. I love it. Alright, and our last question is, what is the best way for fans to support your work? Well, the best way you can support me is to leave a comment down below, say what you liked about the video, as well as if you want me to make more videos like this. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe. That helps me out a lot. And lastly, the biggest way you can support my work is by reading TULIP, my ongoing indie superhero series that would really benefit and help me out a lot. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Like I said before, if you enjoyed it, give it a like, and if you want to, subscribe. And if you'd like me to do this again, comment down below some questions you'd like me to answer. Alright, see you guys in the next one, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day.